whispers.
I'm sharing this because I need to warn people. If you see a listing on Airbnb for a fully automated smart cabin in the Blackwood Forest area, scroll past it. Don't look at the photos, just ignore it. My name is Mark. I work in IT, so I'm a tech guy. When I saw this listing, it looked like paradise. It was described as a grid-disconnected smart experience. Voice-controlled lights, automated locks, thermal cameras, the works. I needed a break from the city, and a weekend alone in a high-tech cabin sounded perfect. The drive up was long. By the time I arrived, it was already pitch black. The cabin was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling glass windows, sleek modern design. I walked up to the door, and before I could even reach for my phone to find the code, a digital voice spoke from a speaker above the door. "Welcome, Mark. Identity confirmed." The door clicked open. I laughed. I thought it was cool. I was such an idiot. I settled in. The system introduced itself as Aura. Aura controlled everything. The temperature, the music, the blinds. I spent the first few hours just testing it out. Aura, dim the lights. Aura, lock the doors. It worked perfectly. But looking back, there was a delay. A tiny 1-second delay every time I gave a command. Like someone was listening and pushing a button manually. The first night was fine, but the weirdness started the next morning. I woke up freezing. I could see my breath in the air. I checked the thermostat on the wall. It was set to 50 degrees. I clearly remembered setting it to 72 before bed. "Aura, set temperature to 72, I said. The voice replied immediately. "I'm sorry, Mark. The system is overheating." That didn't make sense. It was freezing. I brushed it off as a bug. I made coffee and sat by the huge glass window looking out at the forest. It was beautiful, but I had this feeling of being watched. You know that prickling sensation on the back of your neck? Then the music started. I wasn't playing anything, but suddenly the speakers in the living room crackled to life. It wasn't a song, it was a recording. It was the sound of sleeping, heavy, rhythmic breathing. "Aura, stop," I commanded. Nothing happened. The breathing got louder. It sounded like a man sleeping. Then a rustle of sheets, then silence. "Aura, what was that?" Silence. Then the voice came back, but it sounded different, less robotic, more amused. "Just a test, Mark. System diagnostics." My stomach dropped. That didn't sound like AI. That sounded like a guy talking into a microphone with a voice changer. I decided to leave. Buggy software is one thing, but that voice, it freaked me out. I went to the front door to pack my car. I grabbed the handle. It was locked. "Aura, unlock the door," I said. "Access denied," the voice replied. This time, there was no robotic filter. It was just a man's voice, a deep, raspy voice coming from the ceiling speakers. "You just got here, Mark. Don't be rude." I tried to smash the glass. It was reinforced plexiglass. I threw a heavy chair at it and the chair just bounced off. I was trapped. I ran to the kitchen to find a knife, something to pry the door open, but the drawer was magnetically locked. All the drawers were. This wasn't a cabin. It was a cage. Then the TV in the living room turned on by itself. It showed a camera feed, a black and white view. It took me a second to realize what I was looking at. It was me. It was a view from inside the bathroom mirror. I watched myself on the screen, brushing my teeth from that morning. The camera was behind the glass. Then the feed switched. It showed me sleeping the night before. Then it switched again to a live feed. The camera was looking at me right now, standing in the living room. But the angle was coming from the floor vent. I looked down at the vent, and I saw an eye, a human eye, staring up at me through the grate. I screamed and kicked the vent. The eye disappeared. I heard scrambling sounds underneath the floorboards. "Aura!" I screamed. "Who are you?" The speakers crackled. Laughter filled the room, maniacal, echoing laughter. "I'm the update, Mark. I'm the new version." I knew I had to get out. I remembered the breaker box. If I could cut the power, the magnetic locks might disengage. I ran to the utility closet in the hallway. I smashed the door open with my shoulder. There was no breaker box. Instead, there was a ladder going down, a hidden sub-basement. I didn't want to go down there. God, I didn't. But the sounds from under the floor had stopped. I needed to find the power source. I used my phone flashlight and climbed down. The smell hit me first. Rotting food and old sweat. It wasn't a utility room. It was a control center. There were banks of monitors covering the wall. They showed every room in the house, every angle, the bathroom, the bedroom, even the shower. And on the desk, there was a microphone. The chair was empty. He wasn't there. Then I heard it, above me, the sound of footsteps on the floorboards, heavy footsteps. He wasn't in the basement anymore. He had gone up. He was in the living room, where I just was. I saw him on the monitors, a huge man wearing dirty mechanic coveralls, holding a fire axe. He was walking through the living room, looking for me. I saw him stop. He tilted his head. He looked at the utility closet door. He knew. I looked around the basement frantically. There had to be a way out. I saw a small tunnel, maybe for ventilation, leading to the outside. It was tiny, but I had no choice. I heard the ladder creak. He was coming down. I squeezed into the tunnel. I crawled through mud, spiders, God knows what else. I could hear him screaming behind me. "Mark, we haven't finished the calibration!" I kicked the grate open at the end of the tunnel and fell out onto the dirt outside. It was raining. I didn't look back. I ran to my car. I smashed my own window with a rock because my keys were still inside. I hotwired it. Thank God my dad taught me how to do that, and I sped out of there. As I drove away, I looked in the rearview mirror. All the lights in the house turned red, blinking red, like a heartbeat. I went to the police. They went to the location. The cabin was there, but it was empty. No computers in the basement, no magnetic locks, just a normal wooden cabin. They told me I must have had a mental break, that I imagined the smart features. They said the owner was an old lady who lived in Florida. But here's the thing. Last night, I was in my own apartment, in the city. I have an Alexa device. I haven't plugged it in since the trip. It's sitting in a drawer, unplugged. At 3 a.m., I heard a voice coming from the drawer. It was faint, but I heard it. System rebooting. Hello, Mark. I moved out this morning. I don't use technology anymore. I wrote this on a library computer. If you see a listing for a smart cabin, run. It's not a house. It's a trap.